morning friends, welcome to the EduSet Network. We the citizens of India are empowered with number and numerous rights, and today we are going to talk about one such right, that is Right to Information Act. If we talk about Right to Information Act, it was passed by the Indian Parliament on 15th June 2005 and this act fully came into force on 13th October 2005. What is this act actually is? For this, we have in our studio Dr. Devesh Kishore, Professor Emeritus, Makhanlal University, National University, that is Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Mass Communication. So let's welcome our guest, Dr. Devesh Kishore, and sir, we wish that you could throw us more light into this subject, actually what this act is.
Thank you very much. Yes, as you rightly said, this is one of the very important act in a democratic country where individuals would like to know what is happening in my country. What about the projects which will bring the development to the country? Is there any growth or not? And therefore, this act was, as you rightly said, it was introduced in 2005, Right to Information Act. Now, the question is, what are the rights which are available to an individual through this act? That we must know, and how we can use this act for our benefit or for knowing the information. Actually, as it is called Right to Information Act, it means you have right to get certain information from the government benches, from the management of the development departments which are public departments. It applies basically to public departments run by the government agencies, and there you are able to get the information whatever you like to desire to have it. As we all know, all the government departments are run by taxpayers' money. We all of us pay tax, and from this tax they run the various schemes, projects for development. When my money is being spent by the government or by the departments, I have every right to know that where my money is going, where my hard-earned money which I have given to the government as a tax, what is happening to it, and therefore this act was introduced. Let us understand what this act is. Now, as rightly said, Right to Information Act, now this is an act which brings accessibility to information which is held or under control of any public authority. That means you can get any information from the public work departments or public authorities which are directly or indirectly funded by the government. And we all know information is power. When I say information is power, if I have information about certain things, other doesn't have the information about those things, it means I am more powerful, I know what to do, how action to be taken, and that is why information is always called as power. The other thing which is very important to understand, that information means subject matter which may be any form. It could be records, it could be documents, it could be reports, it could be data materials, it could be any condition. So, the important point which has to be remembered is the subject matter content. Format is not very important. They can give you in any format. They may say it is a tape recorded information. So what? Whether it is a tape recorded, video recorded, the information has to be given to the person concerned who asks for it. And next is, information cannot be denied, especially those information which cannot be denied to the parliament and state legislatures. You know, parliament can also ask, the member of parliament can always ask from any department any information which is concerning to the public welfare. Therefore, In other words, we can say any information which can be asked by state legislatures like chief ministers and MLAs and state government people and the parliament, then this information can also be made available to you. The question which people ask, if the information is confidential, categorized, then of course if it is confidential, it may be the confidential for the interest of the country, or it may be confidential because of certain important things which are involved in it. Then the person has to inform that it is confidential, and whichever part is non-confidential, he will have to pass it on to the person concerned who asked that question, basic questions about the information. Now, what are the rights to information? Rights includes inspection of work, documents and records. Sometimes public authorities, they say no, you can't inspect the work. You can always quote the act. In this provision is there, you can go on the site and inspect it. For example, a road is being constructed or a bridge is being constructed, the ratio of cement and sand, if you find is of low quality, you can say I want to inspect the work, I want to see it. You can inspect any document. They may be inventing, for example, nowadays you must be reading in the newspaper, the Chief Minister of Delhi is asking for certain documents to be seen, checked, rechecked, and he can put any authority to go through these documents and records. The other government department cannot refuse it, they will have to show the records, and that's big fight is going on in Delhi itself between the state legislature, there is the chief minister and group, MLAs and the other electricity departments which are run by the public authority. So therefore, the person can inspect the work, can inspect the document and can also check the records. That is a big power and is a big right, and of course it is correct, because once you are party to it, how you become the party to it? Because you have given the tax, you have paid the money and that money is being spent by them. So they will have to maintain that transparency. If my money is involved, I have every right to find out what is happening to my money, which I have paid you as a tax, a quite heavy tax, a development tax. As we all know, about 30 to 40% money goes in tax, whatever I earn every month. Now, such a heavy tax when is being used for development departments and development works, then I have a right to inspect the work which is being done through my money. Then if I want to take notes or I want certified copies, because I can't read everything or inspect everything within a day, so I want to have copies. Of course, I will pay for the copies cost, Xeroxing or whatever it may be. I don't want to get Xerox, or then I can take the notes. You have to give it to me for certain hours, certain time, and I can note down the notes from your documents. Suppose in some case it is a material, then I can take the sample of the material, so that I can further analyze the sample, that what is being done. So certified samples you will have to give me. If I ask for that, as I was just giving an example, a bridge is being constructed and in which certain ratio the cement and sand and concrete is to be mixed. If I find something wrong, I can always take a sample and get it checked. So what type of is being used, material is being used, I can always have every right to go through that material, get it analyzed and get the reports. Even if the material is available in video cassettes, CDs, tapes, in any form. Sometimes it is said, no, this information cannot be given because it is on videotape. Why? Videotape is also a sort of document. On paper you write, on audio your sound is recorded, information through sound. On video, information through sound and pictures. So there are also materials on which the information is recorded, whether it is a paper or a tape or a videotape or CD, they are the material on which the information is being recorded by the agency. So they cannot refuse, no, it is a videotape or it is audio tape or it is CD, I cannot give you. You have every right under this act to get it. When we say public authority, I have been repeatedly saying public authority. Public authority means institution, organization, which are financed directly or indirectly by the government. Some institutions say, no, we are not fully funded by the government. So what? Even if you are not fully funded, you are partially funded. There are some hospitals, if I want some information, this one is a private hospital. How can you call it a private when you are getting funding from the government? Or even you have been given land to construct the hospital on a very cheap rate by the authority. Now that means that there has been a sort of help provided by the government, and therefore you come under this act. You will have to provide that information, and that care has to be taken. And it is, this act is applicable to whole of the India except Jammu and Kashmir. That is the only exception. Otherwise, in any place in India, if you want that information, this act is applicable. So please remember that you have right to inspect the work, you have right to inspect the documents, you have right to get the sample, you have right to get things which are through electronic mode. Nowadays the things which are being discussed about social media, if it is run by public authority, then that information also to be provided. So therefore, you have every right to get the information content, subject matter recorded by any mode, stored by any mode by public authority. This is the point which you have to remember. And public authority means partially or fully funded by the government, where taxpayers' money has gone into it. That is public authority. So these are the rights under this act which has to be carefully understood. Now what is the procedure? How will you get this information? Many of us know about the act, but we don't know what to get the information. Now you have to request in writing or through electronic means in English or Hindi or in the official language of the area. English and Hindi throughout the country and official language of the area. Somewhere if Tamil is the official language or Telugu is the official language, then you can get it by Telugu. But they cannot refuse by saying that I don't know Hindi or I don't know English. Now you must have seen today's newspaper or yesterday's newspaper, where Chidambaram, our finance minister, is in trouble. An IAS officer was speaking to him in English and also some words he used of Hindi. And Chidambaram said, our finance minister said that I don't understand what you are talking. Now there is a big hue and cry. The minister cannot say that I don't understand. and then he has clarified, yes, I don't understand, but I could have asked him a translator to translate it. Please remember, even the Prime Minister from Japan comes to this country, Chinese Prime Minister comes to this country, many are. They speak in their own language, and then it is translated into English. So there is nothing wrong in speaking national language. It is correct, you have every right to speak in national language. Or in this country we accepted English also. English and Hindi nationwide. And regional language, if it is an official language, then also the information can be asked in a official language also. A person living in Kerala, or Karnataka, whatever language is there, he can always ask in that language also, because that is a local specified official language. So you can get the information through writing. Writing, when we say, then it is a proof. You give him writing the request and keep a copy with you, so that he cannot say tomorrow that I did not receive the request. And that is why request in writing is always, or through electronic media, email, or even you can record and send it to him, they will have to respond. But there must be some methodology by which you can prove that you have given him the request. So there should be a receipt from the public authority about your request. Then you, with that request, you have to deposit a fee, a nominal fee, as prescribed in that state or by the country from time to time. You must have been hearing that this is, fee is going to be revised, or in some cases it may change. So you can ask the information officer. Please remember, in all the public authority institutions, organizations, all in the whole country, one person is designated as information officer, to whom the application is to be submitted. Any BHEL, ONGC, or any government ministries, you first ask who is the person who has been authorized to handle these type of cases as and called information officer, and that information officer should be given that request letter, so that, and you obtain the receipt from him with fees, whatever proper fees is there, you ask him, he will tell you, and then you submit it. So procedure is very simple. A letter of request through any means, using any mode, paper, audio, video, email, social media, whatever, but obtaining the receipt and with the prescribed fee, you have to submit to the information officer of that department. Then it will, your first step is cleared. Then how the request is disposed of? As per rule, within 30 days of the receipt of the request. Within 30 days he has to answer it. He cannot say there were holidays, there was summer vacation, winter vacation, this thing, that thing, our information officer was on leave, nothing doing. Public authority has to respond within 30 days. If they do not respond within 30 days, penalty will be laid on them. From his salary, there will be deduction per day, and he will have to pay. So it becomes a matter of concern, very important, that within 30 days he has to reply. But if this information is concerning to life, liberty of a person, then within 48 hours. Suppose somebody is injured or somebody is hospitalized and hospital is not giving the information what has happened to this person, and if you submitted your request, then they cannot wait for 30 days. They have to give the information within 48 hours. Otherwise, they are liable to penalty. So, there are two: 30 days ordinary, but it is emergent information concerning to life or liberty of a person. Suppose he is put behind the bars and you want to get the information why he has been put behind the bars, then they will have to reply you within 48 hours that why it has been done. As I told you, they have to give the information to you, a reply has to be given to you. But suppose they have not given the information within 30 days or 48 hours, then it will be presumed that they have refused the request. You know, the refuse the request means he will be immediately penalized. If the request is rejected by the information officer, he says, no, I am not able to give this information, then he will have to mention reasons for rejection. Why he is rejecting this, why he is not able to give, and he will also have to give the particulars of appellate authority. Means who is not giving the information, who is the person, why are you not getting the information. The information officer has to write down everything on that answer, that this person in our ministry or in our department, he is out of station or whatever has happened, this, that, he is responsible to give the information, he is not able to give it, whatever reasons. And those reasons, if not acceptable, then penalty is laid on that person. So, therefore, particulars of appellate authority has to be given, and the period within which appeal can be made. He will also have to mention that, of course, now I have been rejected, you can make the appeal within 15 days, within 30 days or 10 days, and then information will be available to you. So, as far as the disposal of request is concerned, remember 30 days is the maximum time. In case of emergency, life or liberty of an individual, 48 hours, and then if the information is not given, then it is supposed to be refusal. You understand between the difference between a refusal and rejection. Means he is not giving the information, automatically is accepted that he is refusing, and as soon as he refuses, he is penalized for it. But if he gives the reasons why I am rejecting, why I am not able to give, and give all the information, detailed information, and then also he says you can appeal after 10 days or 15 days, then he can, his answer will be accepted by the person concerned and wait for some time. Now, what are the cases of exemption where the information officer can say that I will not be able to give you the information? There are defined clauses of exemption where he may say no. Number one, which would affect the sovereignty and integrity of India. Some confidential information which might affect the national government sovereignty. Suppose, for example, recently we had certain cases where Chinese army has entered into our area and they entered up to certain distances. Now, that information, if it is any way affecting the sovereignty and integrity of the India, he may say, no, I will not give you the information, detailed information. But if does not, then you can give, yes, this is the fact, and that is why how you get the information. Otherwise, you will never know what has happened on our borders, and that is the way how the information is given. Second thing, if it is related with the security of the country, state and relation with other countries, The information is such, if it is revealed, relationship with other neighboring countries, other countries may get spoiled. Therefore, he may say, no, I don't give you this information. So, basically security of the country is state or any state or relation with the countries. Third, any event taken place 20 years before. Suppose you ask 500 years before Mughal came here and what did happen? No, that is not possible. So, the time period is fixed. 20 years before the date of request, no information will be given to you. After 20 years, yes, you can get the ask the information. That is the boundary which has been fixed. And next is third party information, which will not be given. So, these are the 4 exemption cases. Just to summarize, 4 exemption cases which would affect the sovereignty and integrity of the country. Number 2, which affect the security of the country, our relationship with the neighboring states, our neighboring countries, or anything which is more than 20 years old, and third party information. So, these are exempted. You will see very few cases are exempted from this act, and we are not very much want that type of information which is 20-year-old or something like that. Now, what are the authorities who can educate in the matter of non-supply of information national level? We must remember that there is Central Information Commission at central level, which is headed by Chief Information Commissioner appointed by President of India. So, you can see how powerful this person is. He is appointed by only President of India and he is called Chief Information Commissioner. He is the highest body or person, authority to get the information from different people and make available to you. And President of India appoints him, of course, but this is on the recommendation of the Prime Minister, who is the chairperson. He makes the recommendation that this person may be appointed as a Chief Information Commissioner. And selection committee members are leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. She is also the member, and Union Cabinet Minister nominated by the Prime Minister. It means they are 3-person committee. One is their chairperson, Prime Minister himself, and a person who is a Cabinet Minister rank nominated by the Prime Minister, and leader of opposition. All 3 very important people who are the selection committee member, and they make the recommendation to the President of India, and then President of India appoints that person as a Chief Information Commissioner. And Central Information Commission is an autonomous body. Also, we should remember that it is not under the government. Government cannot influence it. So, that is why it has been autonomous body. If it is a part of the government, like Press Information Bureau, like several departments work under the Information Ministry, then they might get influenced. But in case of Central Information Commission, because they are autonomous body, they will not be influenced by the government. It is accepted. The Information Commissioner will have full powers to direct and manage affairs of Central Information Commission. His office, Central Information Commission office, will be run as per direction of the Information Commissioner, and he will manage the affair. No interference of the government, no interference of anybody from outside. He is the person who has to take decision himself. Then he is assisted by a maximum number of 10 information commissioners. He can on his own have 10 information commissioners who will help him for getting the job done. As you know, this country is such a vast country. Therefore, he requires at least reasonable number of information commissioners, but it has been told that he can have 10, not more than 10 information commissioners who will help him in getting the job done. And these commissioners will hold the office for a term of 5 years. Once they are appointed, 5 years they can have they can hold the office, or up to the age of 65, whichever is earlier. Their retirement age 65. If their retirement age come earlier, then 5 years of their tenure they will retire. If it comes later, then after 5 years they will retire. So this is about the setup at higher level. So you have Chief Information Commissioner assisted by 10 persons, appointed by President of India. Selection committee is headed by the Prime Minister. Members are the leader of opposition and cabinet minister nominated by the Prime Minister, and they hold the office for 5 years. They are autonomous body, no interference of any other person. Now this was central level. Now we come to the state level. What is the situation at state level? There is a State Information Commission. Like at central we had Central Information Commission, and at state level we have a State Information Commission, which is headed by the Chief Information Commissioner. This is called State Chief Minister Commissioner, and he is appointed by the state government on the recommendation of the Chief Minister. Now here Chief Minister is the chairperson, and leader of opposition is another member of the State Assembly, and one state cabinet minister to be nominated by the Chief Minister. So you will see that the selection committee at state level is almost similar at national level. There the Prime Minister is the chairperson, here Chief Minister is the chairperson. Their leader of opposition there, here also leader of opposition. Their cabinet minister nominated by the Prime Minister, here cabinet minister nominated by Chief Minister. So this is selection committee, and they recommend to the government and the government appoints them. So State Information Commission is like Central Information Commission is autonomous body. It cannot be influenced by the state government. And terms and conditions of the service are same as national level. That is the retirement age 65, tenure 5 years. Whichever come earlier, he retires or they retires. So you will see how similarity exists between the central level information commission and state level information commission, so that there should not be any hanky-panky business. It's very clear, transparent business going on, and the state development departments, public authorities, their information has to be sought at state level. So, a letter of request will go to the state level information if you want to have a state level information to be collected. Now, the next question is of appeal, because the information given to you, you may not agree or you may be aggrieved. So, you must make the appeal within 30 days to higher officer that this information seems to be not correct, or I do not agree with this, or this not been given in detail, I want more detail. So, you can always appeal against the decision of information officer, or if you want, you do not agree, then within 30 days you can make the appeal. A second appeal against the decision can be made within 90 days to Central Information Commission. Suppose you do not agree, even after that he has replied or they have not replied, then 90 days, within 90 days you can inform the Central Information Commission, because State Information Commission is not responding to you. What do? Then you go to Central Information Commission, and then the decision of the Central Information Commission or the State Information Commission shall be binding on the concerned authority. There is no appeal in the court or something like that. Whatever decision has been taken by Central Information Commissioner or State Information Commissioner, that becomes the binding on the person who has made the appeal or who has made the request or who has penalized. He will have to do it. You must have read in the newspaper certain cases where they said the individual will have to pay from his salary because he did not respond, he did not give the correct information, and from his salary that deduction has been made. This point has also been raised. Why from individual salary? Why not the ministry should pay for it? They say if the responsibility is fixed on an individual has not given, then it must be done from his salary, because he is also getting the salary from taxpayers' money. That is why he is responsible. He is a public servant. And when he is a public servant, if he is not giving the information, not doing his job properly, then why ministry should be penalized, why institution should be penalized? That is why you must have read in the newspaper latest case, a doctor has been asked to pay 5 lakhs rupees to the patient, not the hospital, on negligence, because that negligence was of doctor while doing the operation, not the hospital. So, therefore, it is very clear that penalty can be laid down by the State Information Commissioner or Central Information Commissioner, that will be binding. There is no choice. The doctor cannot go to the court. He will have to pay it, or the individual will have to pay from his salary. There are a number of cases now coming up where individuals have been penalized and they are very careful. Nowadays I observe and see in the public offices, the information officer is running. Once a request is made by a person, that within 30 days answer must reach to the person concerned, because he is affected or the individual is being affected, and that is very important point under the Right to Information Act. This is not, because as we see, not to comment on courts of India, cases go on for years and years, 30 years old case, 40 years old case, 20 years old case, and nothing happens. It takes a lot of time. The justice is delayed. But here times period has been fixed, individual has been fixed, and they will have to act with this type of things. Now, what is the penalty? It is not that you penalize him too much. The CIC or SIC, that is Central Information Commission or State Information Commission, can impose a penalty of rupees 250 for each day till the application is received or information is furnished. That is, within 30 days you are supposed to give the information. You have not given, it means every day 250 rupees will be penalty on you. You have to pay it. Of course, this penalty will not exceed more than 25,000. They have fixed it, that don't, suppose he doesn't give for 1 year, then too much of the penalty will be there. So, maximum penalty can be 25,000 at the rate of 250 rupees per day, which can be imposed by CIC or State Information Commission on the individuals or the public authorities or the institutions run by them, organization run by them. So, that will be the penalty they have to pay. Then, if it is found that this was a malified intention, individual was not giving the information because of his own interest, or there something was a hidden agenda, then disciplinary action can be recommended against the concerned information officer. So, therefore, disciplinary action by the public authority can be taken against that information officer, because he was trying to hide the information, he was not giving the correct information. So, malified intentions, if they are proved, in addition to the fine, disciplinary action can be taken, and disciplinary action can be of any type. He can be suspended, he can be terminated, anything can be done. In that way, this penalty is very high, and individual will have to act on the basis of that. Next point is the reporting. The CIC or SIC, Central Information Commission, and State Information Commission, they will prepare annual report. Annual report about what? About implementation of Act, how Act is being followed, how it is being implemented, and how many people have been penalized, how many requests have been processed, how many people have been aggrieved, all those details. At state level, the State Information Commissioner; at central level, the Central Information Commissioner will write the full report, annual report of 1 year, and which he will put to the government, a copy to the government, and lay it out to the House of Parliament as legislature. That means either to Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha. In a state case, it will go to Vidhan Sabha. So, it means indirectly the House of Parliament can go through what is happening to the Act, how many reports have been prepared, what actions have been taken, all that. Then each ministry or department collect the information from concerning public authorities. Who will collect this information? The various ministries or departments run by the central government at central level and the state government at the state level will have to provide that information to CIC and SIC for making the final report. And then CIC or Central Information Commission or State Information Commission may recommend steps for promoting the conformity of this Act. When this Act is being implied, what are the problems which are being faced, How we can confirm means stick to the act. You might have been hearing that now the proposal is the fees should be increased, because 10 rupees or 15 rupees nothing. It should be increased to 100 rupees or 1000 rupees, so that everybody should not ask that question or information. So the fees has to be raised like that. Now these are suggestions which people are making. Lot of suggestions are being coming. Now which the State Information Commission or Central Information Commission find worth or find interesting suggestions or which may be useful to the conformity of act, then they want to put it as suggestions which may be considered by the Parliament in case of Central Commission, and in case of state, the state legislature, they can discuss those things. So you can see, although Central Information Commission, State Information Commission are autonomous bodies, no government interference or nobody's interference, but their annual reports, what they have done in 1 year, will be presented to the House of Parliament and state legislature. So they can also go through what has happened to them, how act is working. So in direct type of getting the information from this, and therefore the State Information Commission or Central Information Commissioner, then they are careful, because after all this report goes to concerned assembly or to the Parliament. I think this makes the point clear that public authorities have to respond to the individuals who are citizens of that country. They cannot deny the information related to development in that country itself where people are participating. If you want people participation, you have to be answerable. And no democracy can work without participation of the people, participation of its own citizen. Then only democracy can work. Therefore, right to information becomes a very important subject for discussion and implementation to make the democracy meaningful. I remember when we were studying in the schools or colleges, number of times the public institutions were not giving the information. They said, no, we will not give you. You do whatever you like. Then people used to go to the court. And as you know, in the court it will take 2 years, 5 years, 6 years to get that information. By that the meaning is lost. But by this act, now all the public institutions, all the schools, colleges which are getting government funding, hospitals, there are so many institutions, they are answerable. Recent case was of hospitals where they were not allotting the beds or facilities to poor people. They were saying, no, this is a private, we are doing it. But they forgot the land which was allotted to them on 1 rupee per square yard. At that time the cost was 20,000 or 15,000 rupees per square yard. But they were given land by the government to put their hospital. And that point was reminded to them that look, you got the land on a very cheaper rate. The purpose was establishing the hospital in percentage of beds, and you have to provide to the poorer group of the people, society. So therefore, the act exposes many things which are hidden, and they cannot give the wrong answers, or they cannot hide the information because of the penalties involved in it, and there are severe penalties. That care is to be taken. Now I will give you one example. That example would be how an individual proceeds and get the information. Of course, I explained theoretically to you, but suppose you are the aggrieved party and you want information. Let us say you want to know why I was not called for the interview, although I fulfilled all the minimum qualifications. You can just go to that department, authority, you ask them who is the information officer, and find out that information officer, give in writing, as per your advertisements, I have all the qualifications, why I was not called for the interview. And then with prescribed fees, letter of request, all the details, a copy of advertisement, enclosed with your application, giving all the details therein, everything, and then give it to the information officer and take a receipt from him that he has received this. After that, they will have to respond you within 30 days. You need not to run every day to that officer. That is his responsibility. Either he will have to give you through a registered post, or he might invite you, or whatever. He will give you the information. Suppose you don't agree with that information, or you don't say, no, I don't think this is right, what has been answered, then you can make appeal within 30 days to a State Information Commissioner that such and such institution had made an advertisement, I have made a request to give me the information provided to me is incomplete, I still have my own doubts, I am aggrieved from this, and therefore please look into this and I may be given the correct information. Then their job starts. Within 30 days they will find out from that organization, that institution, what information you have given, whether it was correct or not correct, please check it, recheck it, and they will respond to you in 30 days. Suppose you don't agree with the State Information Commissioner also, then you can make it appeal to the Central Information Commissioner. In such and such a state, this thing has happened and this is what has gone wrong into it. So this is the procedure in which you will be involved. If you are reading newspapers, in different states these type of action are being taken. All recruitments are being cancelled. The recent case of appointments of in police department in UP, there was a hue and cry that wrong things were taken into consideration which was not there. So the whole appointment were cancelled and now it's again being done. So important point to be remembered is, and it is said number of times, if you are not making this type of request under this act, then you are doing injustice to yourself. Doing injustice to yourself is also a crime. You must get the things right. It may benefit you, it may benefit others. It not necessarily it may always benefit you. But at least in a democratic country, things can be put in right direction. That right you have. You are not in a country which is ruled by a dictatorial person or an autocrat. It is a democratic country. Therefore, you have right to do that. I gave a very simple example to you that how you can take care of it. But there are so many complicated issues. For example, food for children, education for children. Number of things are coming out only by making such requests to the Information Commission, and then you find to know, you are able to know, oh, this is what is happening in the country. Otherwise, we were not able to get any information. So, for developmental activities, whether it is related with the child education, whether it is related in food for all, any social activity, you can always ask questions from the institutions, from the organizations, from the public fair activities. That care has to be taken from when you are asking these questions from them. Well, I think this will help you. There are books available, separate books available, Right to Information Act. You can take off any author. Even my book is also available, in which the Right to Information Act has been described under the press laws. In this book itself, there is one full chapter on Right to Information Act. There are a number of books available. Even the government documents are available. You can get hold of these documents for further details and what refinements have been made. You can also read. These are available in different languages and also national and international language. These books are available, reports are available. You can go through them and you can yourself decide. The form, application form can be uploaded either from Central Information Commission Office or State Information Commission Office, or you can go there and collect it, or you, if you don't get it, you have no reach, then even letter of request is enough. But what happens when you give a letter of request, some information is missing which they may require. Therefore, it's recommended that you must get the form if it is available with the information officer. So, go and contact him and ask him, sir, do you have the information for information, any type of form prescribed by your organization or institution, give us a copy, or if it is to be uploaded from computer, you tell him which is the website and all that. Take that form, fill it up and submit it for the discussion and further necessary action. Thank you very much.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. You have given us information how information can empower us, and at the same time how accountability for information is important. We can say they both go hand in hand, for the empowerment and both for the accountability. Thank you so very much for being with us in this lecture of ours. Thank you so very much, Dr. Devesh Kishore.
Thank you.